There was a great question presented to us here at One Wellness. That was, what do I do if I have a high trap on one side? So if somebody sits like this, you see a lot of people where they don't have balanced traps, right? Where they have one higher than the other. And what's really going on? Your first instinct says, well, wouldn't I just work out that other trap a lot, do some extra shrugs on that side? That much is true in some regard, but that's going to be actually the last thing we're going to talk about. First, what we're going to talk about is the root cause of why your traps are so much higher on one side. So what is causing someone to sit like this? Let's go down the whole kinetic chain in the body, and it starts at the feet. So typically, if someone's like this, right, are you going to be able to have your whole body straight? Well, no. They'll probably be kicked off like this, right? The body's very intelligent and it balances itself, okay? Now, similar to how the body adapts to scoliosis, if it comes out this way, maybe it'll, chronic scoliosis, you'll see a curvature develop on this side, a convexity, and it'll try to balance everything out. Body's super smart, right, guys? So, if you're sitting like this and you're putting weight down on this side, well, what do you think, which, say a short foot could even be the cause of this, right? If I had a short foot, then what's going to happen, right? For example, and we'll talk about, how the foot's rotated in general, whether it's through the short foot or not, or just muscle weakness and imbalance. Well, if I'm coming down on this side short, am I going to have my foot facing forward, you think? Well, I could fall over, right? Body's smart. Boom. It's going to plant it so that your foot is pointing out. It's stable like that if I'm favoring this side. So if I'm favoring this side, I'm sitting there like this, and my foot's externally rotated. What does that mean? It means the tibia is rotated. It means the femur is rotated. It means I have tight rotators in the hip. It also means that one major muscle that externally rotates the femur right here at the hip joint and flexes you forward is what? The iliopsoas, right? We call our hip flexors, right? Typically is what we know is that. A few other muscles as well, of course. But iliopsoas are a really big one here, guys, because you're here, you're really tight, and what we want to do is then loosen the iliopsoas to kind of take some pressure off, kind of help this foot come back in a little bit. And what's also happening if your iliopsoas are really tight is the antagonist of that muscle is being underutilized, right? You're not using it as much, and what's an antagonist, or something that will move you in the opposite direction as the iliopsoas? That will be the glutes. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody that's sitting here like this, on this side, albeit external rotation is one of the actions of the glutes. Well, a major one, even bigger one, is extension at the hip, right? And abduction of the hip. So if you're constantly in flexion here, you're neglecting that extension. And so when you're going to do these glute exercises to correct this side where you're stretching the iliopsoas and you're working the glutes on this side, well, you're going to do more extension-focused glute exercises than external rotation. We're already sitting in external rotation to a pretty decent degree, if we use common sense here, right? And so we'd be fine with doing abduction as well. If we're kicked out like this, and our foot's out, and we got this hip popping out, well, maybe if we strengthen that glute med, it could help to pop us back like this, right? So this all starts at the feet, works up the kinetic chain. So we're going to start at here, at the hip flexors and the glutes. How do you stretch the hip flexors? Well, very simple stuff. I mean, really we said it pulls you forward, right? So you want it to come back. And we say externally will rotate that femur. So if you can kind of come here and come the other way, you could, really be stretching it out, right? If you put the leg back, you can lean into that front leg and turn the other way, okay? Now, strengthening is extremely important, probably over stretching, right? In general, we always preach that here at One Wellness to correct imbalances, but, we also want to stretch the iliopsoas. Now, are you just going to stretch this side? No. We're going to stretch both sides, and we're going to strengthen both sides of the glutes. This goes for everything that we're going to talk about in this video. You don't want to just work the one side. But what I will tell you is you're going to do more reps with that one side towards the end of the workout. Okay, so after you've worked both, we're going to hit a few extra reps with the glutes on this side. Again, especially emphasizing some extension and abduction, okay, of the hip. So now we're coming from the ground up here. And what's a good exercise that, we can hit some of that posterior chain and we can help to, reduce some of this imbalance? Well, a Jefferson deadlift is great. And what you're going to do is you're going to that's where you do this weird deadlift where your legs are split and the bar is in between your legs. Guys, be careful not to come up too high. No, you don't have to really worry about that, right? If you do, then, good for you. But you're here and you're coming down and then, boom, you're coming up in that deadlift, right? So you're split, coming down, and look at the form of a Jefferson deadlift if you want. Which leg's in front is the one with the high trap, okay? And this is going to promote balance in the body, musculoskeletal imbalance correction, right? So that's a good one. So now we're coming from here. So okay, we're focusing on this, we're loosening this, we strengthen this. It's going to pull us like that. But what about now the obliques and the lats? Traps, again, are the last things we're thinking about here. What's causing it is coming from the ground up. And so if our obliques are uneven, we're sitting like this. Which side do you think, if the oblique moves you to the side like this, which side do you think is tighter? Probably this side, right? So we want to work this side to pull us more like this. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold the weight in this hand, and you're going to come up and hold it. Contract this side of the obliques. Contract this side of the obliques. Contract this side. Same side as the high side of the shoulder because this is getting stretched all the time, right? And this is under hypercontraction. So what else is happening here where we say, okay, aside from the obliques now we got our foot in, we were coming back a little bit, we're working the obliques, but we're still, say, like this, trying to gradually work through the imbalance. And so we have what being really tight here are the lats, right? What are the actions of our lats? Well, we always think of a lat pull down. We think of our pull-ups, chin-ups, all that kind of stuff, right? The pulling motion. And that much is true. Adduction of the humerus is definitely one of the major actions of the lats. But aside from adduction or bringing it in closer to your body, we also have internal rotation and extension, okay? So which lat you think you're going to want to work here if you're stuck like this? Probably this one you're going to want to pop back this way, right? I wouldn't be surprised somebody had a bigger lat on this side opposite where the high trap is. And so, it makes sense with this balance, right? That's how the body works. It's not going to just totally emphasize one side. It's trying to correct a problem for you, right? And you need to help it by correcting musculoskeletal imbalances. And so we're going to work these lats. How do we do that? Yeah, you have unilateral pull downs and stuff, but here's a really simple thing, right? Well, we said, what are the actions? Well, it's adduction, bringing it in closer to the body, right? We have internal rotation of the humerus, and we have extension. So if you're here, internally rotate, grab a cable in front of you, and you come back. Well, you're stuck in adduction. You're not out here, right? You're stuck in adduction. It's already flexed. Internally rotated, you're flexing the lat, and you're going to come back. And you should feel some squeeze here, okay? Right where the lat is. And so now, it's a lot, right? So now, there was that much to it. I thought you were just going to do some single shrugs over here. No. So now we've corrected, all of that, hopefully. Again, we're going to do both sides, and we're going to talk about some more exercise at the end geared towards, just doing a little bit of everything. But now you're here. So, okay, finally we're up towards the neck and the traps, right? So now here, sure, unilateral shrugs are good, but guess what? Also, what's happening if you're like this? These muscles are really hypercontracted. I mean, you could feel in your neck muscles, they're working, right? And so maybe these are a little bit looser. So what you want to do is isometric exercises, pushing the head, rotating the head, trying to bend the head to the side, pushing against, things like that in order to balance your neck muscles. Again, you'll do them for both sides. Let's do a few more on that low side, right? Now also, we're going to want to do some chin tucks. So chin tucks are just going to strengthen our deep neck flexors, mainly longus capitis, longus coli is what we're talking here. And so you come in here, your chin's not up here, that shouldn't hurt your neck, you're compressing your cervical spine facets. You're here, boom, boom, boom. Your shoulders back, boom, right? Chin tucks are great, you look like a freak, but they're great for you, right? They're going to help to hold your head back up here, and some of this, this isn't just related to the head being back, it's related to correcting imbalances, even regarding the trapezius, right, and the scalenes and all these muscles that come up in your neck, right? So on top of that, let's kind of go back down here. You're looking at rows. Rows are good, where, we're going to hit the lats, we're going to hit the rhomboids on both sides. Now, we said you could do these, internal rotation, extension, stuck in adduction for the lat on that side with the high trap. Also, what you could do on that side for the high trap, we'll say this side's high for all intents and purposes, is you could grab the cable at this angle, you could come down, internally rotate, keep that arm tight, squeeze. Boom, boom. You could do some rows like that, unilateral, right? And again, you're gonna do a few more with that side at the end. You're still gonna not neglect the other side, of course, right? And so we also can do straight cable rows. We can also do some rows where we come right back, okay? We're gonna make sure when we do our rows that we're even. You're not gonna start your row like this, defeating the purpose. You have to be very conscious. It's like when someone has that externally rotated foot, you have to be conscious to keep it here. And if you can't keep it there, you gotta look at your foot length and say, all right, maybe there's an actual deficiency in the length of either your femur or your tibia, maybe an ankle injury, maybe a hip injury, maybe a decreased amounts of cartilage in the knee or the hip, anything that's making that space compress. There's less space there, and so you're shorter on this side, right? And so, maybe look to getting orthotics and things of that nature if it can't be corrected with something like chiropractic adjustment, right? And correcting misalignment. And so we have rows where we're going to be here, and we're going to come straight back. Straight back. Your shoulder blades are pinning together. Your chest is up. Your head is back. Boom. Squeeze in between the shoulder blades. Come back nice and slow. You're going to have to drop the weight a little bit than you typically probably do rows at, because when you typically do them, what's happening? Well, you're probably doing them like this. You're not correcting that imbalance, right? So when you go to do that, you're going to be a tad bit weaker, I would think, right? Naturally, you use common sense. And so you're better off having good control, going a little bit slower and dropping that weight a little bit, all right? So what else we have is low back hyperextensions, okay? So we said, we're pulled here. So it's also opposite here. We said posterior chain. You'd like to hit that posterior chain in general. It's not just on the one side. So what we're going to want to do is the one where you're leaning on something, your legs go back like that, I can't lean and do it at the same time, right? But say you're leaning on a table, which I don't have right here, and, make sure it's really sturdy because you pull the damn thing up, right? But, it's well weighted, right? And then you lift your legs up. Some gyms have that machine. It's a great machine where you can kind of hook your feet, your Achilles under it, and just, I'm lifting both again at the same time back this way, right? Another one is the reverse back hyperextension. So you're on that bench, your feet are locked in at this angle, and you're coming back up like that. Now, when you're doing all this stuff, guys, you have to make sure that you're not at an imbalance while you're doing it, because that's totally defeating the purpose. Now, after all of this, you can do some unilateral shrugs. You can do some unilateral shrugs at the end of the workout. And, this one I probably wouldn't recommend really hitting the other side as much in isolation, right? I would recommend doing both arms. When you do both arms, what are you going to do? You're going to pay attention to them staying level. You're not going to do both arms like this, right? So you're going to do that. And then at the end, you could hold just a plate at the side, and you could do this, right? What's even nice is you could do oblique, shrug, down, down. Oblique, so you're hitting these obliques, which you need to hit, right? Shrug, down. This again, if you were high at like this on this side, you want to hit these obliques. And, so that's what we got for you guys. I hope that was a good answer for you. You know who you are. And, there's a lot that goes into muscular imbalance. I don't want you guys to just look at it and say, this side's bigger than that side, I'm just going to work that side. It's like treating symptoms, not the cause of something. Right? So that's what we got for you guys. I hope you have a great day today, and happy When Wellness. We also got a couple birthdays up in here today. So happy birthday to, drum roll, tummy roll, chest roll, Jake Johnson and Maria Popovic. Happy birthday, guys. This one's for you. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jake and Maria. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Happy birthday, guys. Nobody sang to you today except for me, or maybe your grandma did or someone else. But I did, so I can say that. Happy birthday. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Let's see who we got. Chalk Mo, what's up? How you doing? Glad. That's great. That's awesome. Made my day to hear that. Someone's getting something out of this. What's up, Natty girl? Love you. Thanks, Ma. You're the best. Love you, Ma. Biggest fan. Number one fan. Josie Loyola. The well-known. My Favic. How you doing? Sergio. There's a sale on Super U today. It's 30% off. It only goes until tonight. I think it's 11:59 p.m. So if you guys want some, scoop it. I'll ship it out. The post office is going to close soon, but I could ship it out Monday if it's not in time. If not, to each their own. I just want to share some smooth energy, mental clarity, focus, reduced inflammation in the gut, reduce acidity in the muscles, boosting that learning neurotransmitter, facilitating memory, and not only focus and attention, muscle control. A lot of stuff we could talk about forever. But it's not what it's about right now. Walker Rivers. It's a phlegm thing. Hey. Lee McKeever. Ozzy. What's up? How you doing? PD Rumla. He's back. PD Rumla. How you doing? Brenton Duckett. Nice to see you on here, my friend. Don't believe I've seen you before. It's Kamal. What's up, my dude? How you doing? Gert Martinez. I see some new faces on here. Ashley, what's up, girl? How you doing? Happy Saturday. Don't party too hard tonight. George Pineda. Mickey Camacho. Edwin. Eddie Rodriguez. Brandon Malone. He's an OG up in here. Always here. DOS4371 as well. And Joshy Joe. Always on here supporting. Appreciate you, brother. And John V. Bonbon. If anyone has any questions, post them now. But if not, as for now... So we got for you folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll damn right see you then. Have a great one. Thanks. Happy One Wellness. Happy Saturday. See ya.